John Pearce. In 2008, this 32-year-old man tried to break into the Kentucky home of Paul Ives while the man was at work, but John's burglary failed immediately, and his foot somehow got stuck for the front window, so he was just left hanging there while a crowd formed outside. They laughed and ridiculed the thief instead of helping him, and when Paul arrived home, John claimed he was actually trying to stop a thief and selfishly wanted to stop him, which is why he got stuck there himself. But the homeowner quickly realized that the story was bogus and also left him hanging. It was only then that police and paramedics arrived to free him, and then to promptly arrest the guy. Kasey J. Kazee. Yet another 2008 story from Kentucky, this one even more puzzling. This grown 25-year-old man attempted to rob a liquor store while wearing nothing but duct tape over his head. The only thing he managed to accomplish was getting money from the cash register before another employee stepped up and easily tackled him in the parking lot. Police arrived afterwards and took the dumbass in. He didn't have any weapons, a good plan, or a clever disguise, just gray tape, and it proved easy to take off, yet must have been painful for Kazee. He pleaded for second-degree robbery and served 10 years in prison. Konieczny. For those of you who don't know, I live in Florida, and yes, the memes are true. We are batshit insane. So of course on a list of dumb criminals, multiple entries are Florida man stories. The first is this man, Danny. On March 6, 2018, the older man showed signs of being drunk and suicidal, so neighbors rightfully reported this to the authorities and was sent to the Lake County Hospital. Danny frustratingly waited over 2 hours to see a doctor and wanted to go home. Now instead of calling a taxi or an Uber like a normal Earth citizen, he stole one of the hospital's ambulances and went for a drunk joyride. He parked the emergency vehicle in his neighbor's yard to get back at them and fell asleep in his car's trunk, parked in his garage, and the next morning he was of course arrested. Klaus Schmidt. In 1995, this man walked into a bank in Berlin, Germany in an attempt to rob it. Pointing a gun at the workers, he demanded they give him money. Seems like your typical bank robbery from a movie. Oh no. When the employees asked if he wanted it in a bag, Schmidt replied with, "Yes, it's a real gun." So it turns out the man couldn't hear anything because, well, he was deaf. And wouldn't you know it, everyone else caught on to that fast. So they set off the alarm, which was smart since it was mainly sound-based. Police eventually came and arrested him, but apparently this isn't the end of the story. Schmidt planned to sue the bank for exploiting his disability. Sean A. Sykes Jr. This case seems pretty straightforward at first. Sykes was arrested in November 2017 in Kansas City for possession of various items found in his backpack. After a search of his car, police found marijuana, cocaine, and heroin along with 2 handguns. One of those handguns, a .357 Magnum, was stolen from someone else's car. He was taken into questioning, which is where things get cringe-inducingly hilarious. When asked what his address was, Sykes proceeded to lean to one side of his chair and release a loud and stinky fart. He would eventually reveal that information, along with those for other questions, but he just kept farting. So much so that the detective reportedly ended the interview early. Levi Detweiler. This 17-year-old Amish boy decided to be a rebel one day and did the unthinkable. He ran a red light. Oh no. And no, he did not use a car. He was in a classic horse and buggy, so when police started tailing him, Levi took them into the slowest chase ever. After about a mile, he made a sharp turn into a driveway and lost control. The buggy flipped into a ditch, so Levi began running on foot. He was caught, and some of his fellow Amish even helped with the situation, mainly by freeing the horse and getting the buggy out. He was charged with failure to stop, reckless endangerment, overdriving an animal, and underage possession of alcohol. He was sentenced in 2010. Dean Smith. In May 2014, Dean decided to rob a bank called Barclays in Treorchy, Wales. Now his first dumb move was showing up in a lame disguise of a hoodie, sunglasses, and socks over his shoes. He walked in with a bread knife and demanded money, with nobody agreeing to give him anything. And he wasn't aggressive either, just desperate. And you want to know what the twist of the story is? Dean came inside the bank 30 minutes earlier to change his address. So not too long after the limpy man ran off, police used this info he gave and promptly arrested him at his home. Otis Dawayne Ryan. Throughout 2017 and into 2018, this man had already faced charges of disorderly conduct, battery, and carrying of a concealed weapon. Yet he faced much more in May 2018 when he decided to visit Clearwater Beach in Florida. It all started when Otis would approach female tourists in an attempt to have their male partners to confront him. This caught the eye of an officer, but things weren't too bad yet. That was until Otis approached a local playground and began climbing it. With many young 4 to 6 year olds surrounding him below, the man screamed at the top of his lungs, where babies come from. And not just some cookie cutter details, but reportedly pretty vulgar ones. Immediately parents came rushing over to take their kids away, and Otis was arrested. He was forced to pay $118 and told to stay away from the area. Jeffrey Putman. This 31-year-old man was seen walking around Winchester, Virginia and promptly arrested. This is due to what he was wearing: a black cape, large-ass sword, and Joker makeup. This March 2017 case is highlighted with how ludicrous the charges were. He was charged with a felony for just the fact he had makeup on. In America, it's against the law for someone over the age of 16 to wear a mask out in public. So you're telling me that he was walking around town with a sword, but mainly charged him looking like a Batman villain? Bruh.
You wanna know how I got this sword? Well, I'll tell you, Batman, once I post about my recent arrest on 4chan.
Lukasz Chojnowski. This Polish man from the UK was kicked out of his lodging with nowhere else to stay, so to him it was clear that he should just find another one and break in. So he found the home of a retired couple, Martin Holtby and Pat Dyson. Now instead of breaking in to steal stuff from them, he wanted to live there for a bit. Lukasz did the dishes, washed clothes, sorted the mail, did the groceries, and made food. And just before the couple returned, he took a bubble bath. Martin would find him resting on the couple's bed, to which the scared Polish man hid under the sheets. After he was arrested, many dubbed him Goldilocks, in reference to the old nursery rhyme. Honestly, if this happened to me, I would just adopt the little man as my house servant. Maybe I'd pay him. Geoff Gaylord. In 2015, this nearly 40-year-old man went to the police to confess a murder. Seems pretty standard yet gruesome, right? Well, it turns out the one he killed was Mr. Happy, his imaginary friend. He reportedly stabbed Mr. Happy with a knife, cut him with a hatchet, and buried him in his backyard. He began threatening police to sentence him for death penalty, which didn't work. He was arrested, and various drugs, along with a machine gun, were found in his home. Apparently the reason why he killed Mr. Happy was because he was a slob, left cocaine baggies everywhere, and never took the toilet seat down. He even blamed the imaginary friend for a previous drunk driving incident. Anthony Kenneth Mastrogiovanni. This man decided that it would be fun if he impersonated a police officer. So in 2012, he took his white pickup truck and placed a red and blue flashing lights on the windshield. He was stationed at Route 301 and saw a car allegedly speeding. So, like a real police officer would, he pulled the man over. And as luck would have it, Anthony pulled over an off-duty police officer. Wow. So when the officer asked who the man really was, simply put, he was a military officer from Louisiana. Alrighty then. He would be arrested, mainly for having emergency lights on a truck, which is illegal in Maryland. Roy Stern. I can't believe what I'm about to read. So in early 2020, a new Florida man meme emerged of this guy, Roy, hanging from a Miami traffic light and shitting on cars below. He got himself high on marijuana and crystal meth, which empowered him to climb a large pole and drop his trowel on poor unsuspecting drivers. Literally a power move. After the reports started rolling in, police and firefighters came to take him down with ladders, but only if he agreed to use hand sanitizer, which is smart. Cody Conner. This 17-year-old boy from Florida was in dire need of some money for his grandparents, so he decided to stick up a store. And as you can guess, relating to other entries in this list, it wasn't your typical store. Called Cupid's Corner, this was a lingerie shop. Yep, makes sense, 17-year-old boy. Cody pointed his weapon to the store manager and ordered her to give him all the money in the cash register, $150. He explained why he needed to do this, so the manager made a smart decision. She promised him a job there, went to the back to call 911, and returned with a W-2 tax form. He calmed down and went outside to smoke, while the police took a reportedly 45 minutes to arrive, and to their luck, Cody had actually filled out the job application, so it didn't take long to locate him. Gary Rowe. This Scottish man decided to stick up a Ladbrokes with a really bizarre weapon. Gary stuffed an elongated cucumber inside of a sock to make it appear as a sawed-off shotgun. Why? What a dumb move. Now he did claim it was for a dare, not a real robbery, but come on, a cucumber? Why not a banana, asparagus, or an orange? Just threatened to throw an orange at the employees. Anything is better than that cucumber. He was knocked down by an off-duty officer and taken into custody in late 2013. During this, he muttered, "It was a fucking cucumber. Am I getting to jail for this?" Stephan Crane. I swear, this one's literally out of a cartoon. In February 2010, this college student decided to break into the Rivoli Republic classroom. Now, why would he want to break into a newspaper office? Well, he wanted to look at porn on their computers and then check his MySpace and Facebook accounts. The drunken man then took the fire extinguisher and sprayed it all around the room before leaving to his sister's apartment. And guess what? It was literally down the hall from the office. And if that wasn't an easy enough way to find him, he left a trail of pilfered M&Ms and trail mix leading to the apartment. Once charged, Stephan was charged with multiple felony counts. Good job. Waldo Soroa, Matrix Andaluz, and Jose David Diaz Marrero. This one is going to make you cringe. So this group of older teens, along with 2 underage accomplices, decided to break into a home in Marion County, Florida. They stole the typical items such as jewelry and electronics, but noticed another thing they could steal. The boys found containers of a powdery substance, which to them either seemed like cocaine or heroin, but it wasn't. What the boys snorted up their nose was the ashes of the homeowner's father and their 2 Great Danes. How fucking stupid can you be? Could they not figure out what was in them? And better yet, they were caught attempting to rob another home in the same community. It's actually unknown where these boys dumped the remaining ashes after they realized what they ingested, which is pretty disturbing to think about. Sevdet Besim. We go to Melbourne, Australia for our last dumb criminal, which had one of the craziest plans for a terrorist attack. Him and a 15-year-old British boy thought up ways to terrorize the 2015 Anzac Day commemorative service. The plan ended up being to run over and behead police officers, but was caught before this happened. But his original plan was so amazing. Sevdet was to fill explosives into a kangaroo, paint the ISIS symbol on it, and sick the marsupial on police and have it blow them up. This is literally something Dr. Evil would do. It's like planting dynamite on a bear and having it run around a military base. I mean, I'm glad this never happened, but please have this happen on a TV show or something.